Good evening, everyone. My name is Heather Abbott. Welcome to another Healthy by Choice masterclass. Tonight, the subject matter is hydration and your immune system, led by Dr. Gary Lindner. He's a physiologist. He's also a former faculty member for UC Davis and a current adjunct professor at Chico State University here in California. Dr. Lindner, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. And I know everybody will appreciate some of the new slides that you put together for us today, too. So let's just kind of get started. So this week, we're going to talk about water matters. And as Heather said, part of the new part of this presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit in conjunction with our immune system. So if you haven't yet, I suggest that the person that invited you tonight give you a copy of this magazine that Heather and I authored a while ago. It's called The Self-Care Awakening. And I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine about health. And I asked him this question: what price can you place on your own health? And his response was the same as mine, is that we really can't, because without it, we really don't have much of anything. So each week we talk about self-care, and we define that as an active process through which we become aware of and then make choices for a healthier life. So we bring awareness to the problem, maybe why we have the problem, and then solutions for the problem, so that we can all be healthy by choice and not leave our health to chance. Because if we leave our health to chance, the chances aren't very good we're going to be healthy, really, if you just want to call it what it is. So let's talk a little bit about water matters, and it matters a lot. Most of us live our lives in a state of chronic dehydration. A couple of weeks ago, Heather and I did a virtual presentation on this subject for a college. They call it Wellness Wednesday. And the organizers of it had a poll that they did before the presentation. And the numbers pretty much always come out the same. 75 to 80% of us are chronically dehydrated. And mostly just because we don't drink enough water. If we look at this, it's a problem globally. And actually, dehydration has been called the mother of all epidemics and the first step we need to take in addressing chronic disease. And that's a quote from Gina Bria, who's a cultural anthropologist. But not only is this important for chronic disease, which is a lot of times what we're talking about here in the Self-Care Awakening, but also for our immune function. We want to keep our skin healthy. It's our first line of defense against viruses, bacteria, infections. If we're dehydrated, this decreases our rate of salivation and also the concentration of salivary immunoglobulins, which are a first line of defense to the immune function on foreign bacteria and viruses. And dehydration reduces the overall volume of blood and lymphatic fluids that are integral in a healthy immune system response. You know, water is very important, and here's a slide that depicts different parts of the body and how much percentage of that is water. But I'll say this as well: if we look at just the number of molecules in our body, 99% of those molecules in our body are water, and our body's nearly 65 to 70% water. And look at this and pay attention to it. Just a minor loss of 2.5% in hydration results in a decrease in efficiency and energy of 25%. So many times in the afternoon, you're feeling sluggish, you're feeling tired. Chances might be that you're dehydrated. So we lose about 10 cups of water a day. And so that's about 80 ounces. And it's 2 cups a day due to respiration and evaporation, perspiration, about 2 cups a day. And then through excretion, about 5 to 6 cups a day, for a total of 10 cups a day. And failure to drink enough water leads to fatigue, joint pain, weight gain, diabetes, ulcers, high blood pressure, kidney disease, type 2 diabetes, And the list could go on and on. This is a partial list. So we need to stay well hydrated. And part of that, I think, has to do, and why people don't choose water is they don't appreciate it for what it really is. And that is, it's an essential nutrient. So if we change that mindset, I think we'd all drink more water. Here's a phrase that I kind of coined, saying water is not just a beverage choice, it is an essential nutrient. And we need to drink about half our body weight in ounces per day to stay well hydrated. Now, we have lots of different choices for water, and I'm going to go through a couple of them here quickly. Tap water is one choice, and it's chlorinated, which is chlorine's a toxic chemical. A lot of people don't choose tap water for aesthetic reasons, either the taste or the smell, they don't like it. Tap water has minerals in it, but are they the minerals we want in our water for our body? It's not very bioavailable. But the good thing about tap water is that it is regulated by municipalities and that it's inexpensive. So we can take tap water and we can filter it, and there's a number of different ways to do that. There are pitchers, there are faucet mounts, there are refrigerator filters. Most of these are block carbon or granulated carbon type filters. But really what they do is they say, depending on the system you choose, they deplete the minerals in the water, they produce an acidic water, and it's not very bioavailable. Reverse osmosis is another way of filtering water, and it's a very effective way of filtering water. The problem is it takes everything out of the water. It has no minerals. Because it has no minerals, it's very acidic, and it's not very bioavailable for our bodies. Now, a lot of people choose bottled water, and I'll mention that right now, that most bottled water is filtered tap water, and a lot of it is filtered through reverse osmosis. But it's a huge industry. And a lot of people choose bottled water, and I ask them these questions. If I see people drinking out of having a bottled water, I ask them, why do you choose bottled water? The choices are usually three, and sometimes it's all of these, but they say it tastes better, or they think it's healthier than tap water, and they think it's convenient. So I'm going to refer you to a previous class that we did and recorded that you can find at selfcarehub.com called The Great Bottled Water Debate. And take a look at that video. I think it's about 20 minutes long, maybe 18 to 20 minutes long, to learn more about bottled water. But if we look at, and this is kind of fun to do, and I suggest you do it, look at taste tests, double blind or blind taste tests that people have done with bottled water versus tap water. Many times, people do not choose the bottled water over tap water, and many times they choose tap water over the bottled water. And there's actually some pretty humorous ones too, where they've actually taken water from a garden hose in a very fancy restaurant. And Penn and Teller, the magicians, did this, and the waiters brought them a menu of all their different types of bottled water, and they were priced very expensive at these high-end restaurants. And people just thought it tasted great, but really all it was tap water out of the garden hose that they were filling bottles up, and just kind of did it on one of their shows. So it's kind of interesting to watch. A lot of people think bottled water is healthier than tap water. It's not. And there's another subject that you can look up on the internet and look at all the things. I mean, people have tested bottled waters and found everything from heavy metals and arsenic and mercury to bacteria to detergents, and that list can go on and on. So I don't consider it to be a healthier choice. They say it's convenient, and my response to that many times is, don't we often trade our health for convenience? And we do. But I will say it is not convenient for our planet. Bottled water is a huge environmental problem. There are over 100 million plastic bottles used each day globally, and 80% of these end up in our landfills or in our oceans. There are 200 billion plastic water bottles used annually. And every second, 1,500 of these end up in the landfills and ocean. Oceanographers estimate that by the year 2050, plastic in the ocean will outweigh fish. And I find that extremely disturbing. I also find it something that we can do, and something that we can help our planet and keep our planet healthier. The so these choices, so bottled water really is filtered. Usually it's acidic, there's no minerals, it's not very bioavailable. We have plastic and BPAs that leaches into the water, endocrine disruptors. We have antimonies that do that when the water reaches a temperature that's hot enough to leach from the plastic and produce antimonies, which are not very good for us as well. We have microplastics in there as well. They estimate as many as 3,000 microplastics are in just one bottle of water. Also, there is no regulations to really verify that this is a healthy water. And like I said, there are huge environmental concerns, and bottled water is extremely expensive. It is 2,000 times more expensive than tap water. So I do not consider any one of these a healthy choice. So let's look and see what a healthy alternative might look like. So the healthy and affordable choice is to filter your tap water because it's regulated, because it's treated, chlorinated to kill pathogens. And then we want to filter it to remove all those byproducts, the free chlorine, the bound chlorine, and the volatile organic compounds that are produced when chlorine reacts with organic material in the water. But what would you look for in an effective filtration system? So one, we want to look at its filtration efficiency. And we want that to be third-party validated. We don't just want that to come straight from the company. We want a third-party validation for that. And I recommend we look for a system that meets or exceeds National Standard, Foundation, and ANSI categories of 42, which is the acidic, which removes free chlorine, helps with the taste and smell. 53, which also removes the volatile organic compounds and many other things that we don't want in our water. And standard 372, which is for heavy metals. We want a water that's slightly alkaline with a pH of about 8 to 9.0. And we want those minerals to be added back to the water. We want to put some structure to the water, what we call microclustering, which actually helps water trap more oxygen, so it's actually kind of an oxygenated water. And this is the way water exists in nature. And then we want a unit that's easy to maintain and cost effective. But also, let's kind of take a look at the science behind healthy water. And I've got a couple of people that I want to draw on some of their research. And first would be Otto Warburg. And he was a German physiologist. And he suggested, he was also a Nobel laureate. And he suggested that cancer cells live in a low oxygen or a hypoxic and acidic conditions, and they derive their energy from fermenting sugars, the same way maybe yeast do. Our next scientist is Dr. Alberto Bosch, and he went from the practice of pediatric oncology, studying cancer in children, to the practice of natural medicine. And what he's contributed to the science of water is that if we change the environment, change the ground by changing the water, it's possible to reverse the progression of tumor cells and cause cancer cells to actually apoptose or to die. And so this is a very important discovery as well. One of my favorites is Dr. Batman Galish. He was a physician, and he's best known for his book, You're Not Sick, You Are Thirsty, Your Body's Many Cries for Water. And he suggested that dehydration is the cause for the majority of diseases. And he was quite adamant in his books and his lectures of relating that and opposing the use of drugs for conditions that really could be addressed by increased water consumption. And he received quite a bit of flack. It gave him a bit of notoriety, if you will. But I think he really hit the nail on the head. I mean, if we look at some of these conditions that we talked about earlier, And let's just take headaches. Nearly 90% of headaches are due to dehydration. And of course, there's lots of different medications and lots of different over-the-counter and prescription ones for headaches as well. So a couple more, and this is more on the structure of water from these two scientists. And Dr. Mu-Shik Zhan, he's a world expert on water. He's a chemist, and his theory, molecular water environment, he found that the reinstatement of a structure or a hexagonal water in our body can improve vitality, retard aging, and prevent disease. His book, The Water Puzzle and the Hexagonal Key, summarizes over 40 years of research documenting the structural qualities of water. And Professor Shinji Makino is a veterinarian, but he also has doctorate degrees in microbiology and immunology. And his book, The Miracle of Pi Water, he states Pi Water has the power to maximize natural healing. Pi Water helps people recover from illnesses. High energy water is the foundation for health. So it's these findings and many others that have led to the development of the Nikken PiMAG Waterfall. It meets the requirements we were looking for in an efficient filtration system. It filters to National Standard Foundation's 42, 53, and 372. It can reduce bacteria up to 99.99%. It produces a structured water, an ionized, which is minerals are added back, which creates an alkaline water. The system uses no electricity or plumbing, just sits on your counter and you fill it up with tap water. The water tastes great. Many people say it has kind of a velvety taste, and it is extremely hydrating. And the hydrating is there due to the structure and also the minerals being added back. So it's great for the environment, great for your body, and great for your wallet. And at the same time, it's just like Mother Nature pours you a glass of water. If there's one thing I really appreciate about Nikken and their research and development and our product line, it's that providing things to us the way nature intended, using science and technology to provide answers, products, and solutions the way nature intended it to be. So there are great cost savings with the Nikken PiMAG water system. And this is the assumption that you're providing your family with bottled water. And at $816 for 5 years worth of great water, including the filter changes that you'd need to do. And it'll basically pay for itself in about 3 months. People don't realize how much they're spending on water, but this is a great way to provide it in a very effective, healthy, and cost-efficient manner. So for water on the go, we have the PiMAG Sport Bottle. This is the eco bottle for our global wellness community. It has an amazing filtration filter. It's called nanofiber filtration. It was originally developed for NASA, and it reduces contaminants, including pathogens, volatile organic compounds, and microplastics from drinking water. So it captures inorganic particulates, cell debris, organic materials, endotoxins, viruses, proteins, colloids, bacteria, heavy metals, lead, and particulates. And you fill this bottle from any tap with tap water for great tasting, healthy water. Again, environmentally friendly, and I'll mention this right now. All of the Nikken water products that I'm suggesting or talking about to you here tonight are made from biodegradable plastics. They do not leach any BPAs, they're BPA free, or any other harmful chemicals into the water. And it is pennies a gallon. So here's a cost saving with PiMAG Sport Bottle, assuming you would drink, pay the average price basically for a 20-ounce bottle of water is $1.50. And if you're drinking enough water, I'm assuming for a 160-pound individual, and drinking 80 ounces a day, that'd be 1,460 bottles annually. It costs you a little less than $2,200 per year. You could have healthier, better water for yourself, be environmentally responsible with a Nikken PiMAG Sport Bottle for a little less than $100 in your first year. And then after that, it'd be about $48 a year for the replacements. So the other question when I'm talking about water matters, I like to ask people is, are they bathing in tap water? And that is not a healthy choice. The water is heated, it's warm, the chlorine is released into the air. We breathe it, our pores are open, so we absorb a lot of it. And get this, a 5-minute shower is equal to 30 days of drinking tap water because of the amount of chlorine absorbed through the skin and the lungs. And the reason, people might say, wow, how can that be? Well, in the average 5-minute shower, it exposes us to 25 to 30 gallons of water. So that's pretty much what we drink in a month that we're exposed to within 5 minutes. So we really want to filter our showering water, our bathing water, and a great way to do that with this PiMAG microjet shower system. This is one of the products that people call me up and tell me great stories about right after they get it and install it in their home. It's like, wow, that's the greatest shower I ever took. It felt great. I loved it. I, didn't spend 5 minutes. I spent 20 minutes in the shower. It felt so great. And it's very refreshing. And one of the reasons being, not only is the filtration of there and removing 100% of the chlorine, but also structuring the water and also adding, it has an air induction system, which infuses, I always say gazillions, and I know that's probably not a real word, but it's like gazillions of microbubbles into the water, which increases the surface area of the water, its cleaning ability to get good cleaning into the pores. It's awesome. I mean, it's a great way to shower. The head has a 5-way adjustable spray and massage options as well. So let's get back to where we kind of started. And like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about this as far as hydration and our immune system. So we want to stay hydrated because this helps oxygenate our blood and flush toxins out of our bodies. It helps in the production of lymph. And lymph kind of goes through our bodies much the same as, say, a water pump on the farm, the old handle pumps that you need to prime. If we don't have sufficient water, we really don't have very good lymph circulation as well. And that's very important for our immune system to protect us from viruses, bacteria, infections. We want to keep our eyes and our mouth clean and also keep our skin healthy as well. And hydration will do that. Hydration will help us digest our food, provide more energy to our cells to help protect us, and helps prevent and treat common chronic ailments. I mentioned headaches. How about joint problems? A lot of times that's due to dehydration as well. So there's 5 ways to boost your immune system. The first one is probably no surprise to anybody. Hydrate, hydrate, and hydrate. Keep water with you all day. Sip on it all day long. Once you feel as though you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So I keep the PiMAG Sport bottle with me all day long, wherever I'm going, wherever I'm at, whether we're traveling or not. At home, we have the Waterfall, and we're constantly sipping on water. The second is to get plenty of sleep. Inadequate or poor quality sleep has been said to drop our immune efficiency as much as 60% in just one night. We want to maintain a healthy diet. As with most things in our body, a healthy diet is key to a strong immune system. Supplement as needed. I would also say to this, avoid added sugar in the foods that you're eating, and use some whole food nutrition that helps support your immune system. And again, I'll refer you to the selfcarehub.com. We've done a number of presentations recently on those as well. You want to minimize stress and also exercise regularly. So let's consider this. And these are symptoms of lots of different issues, all right? Lots of different chronic issues as well. Fatigue, poor concentration, poor immune function, which we've been mentioning. But they are also symptoms of dehydration. So drink a lot of water, drink half your body weight in ounces per day, stay well hydrated. The best way I know how to do that is with the Nikken water pack. It provides you a shower system for a healthy shower so you aren't breathing, absorbing chlorine. We have the home unit, the Waterfall. Just fill it up with tap water. Produces a healthy alkaline water with the minerals structured the way nature intended, and the PiMAG Sport bottle and replacement filters for each. So again, I will reiterate and bring to your attention again, the Nikken water products are made with recyclable and biodegradable materials. They use a polymer that does not leach chemicals into the water. So we invite you to be part of our global wellness community. There's a couple different ways that you can get involved, and for more information, please contact the person who invited you to this presentation. And with that, I want to thank you and also bring to your attention the new update